Alekhine, fourth world chess champion, had some fun defeating his opponents with the Danish Gambit. We will look at two of his games to broaden our understanding of this opening. The first game was played in 1924. In the third move, Black opts for d5. This variation is named the Sorensen Defense and is one of Black's best options. We have e takes and queen takes. White recaptures on d4, and both sides make natural moves. The queen is now attacked and Black should probably move it. Instead, he takes on c3, but it's a bad move for a couple of reasons. White had a relatively weak and isolated pawn on d4, which is now reinforced. Furthermore, Alekhine has got a strong bishop pair. Black wants to put his bishop in fianchetto with b6, but this allows Alekhine to gain space in the center with c4 and d5. After the Black's knight retreat, Alekhine centralizes his knight by moving it to d4. Black plays bishop b7 and Alekhine develops his last minor piece with bishop b2. Black challenges White's strong center with c6, and White replies by opposing his bishop to the opponent's one with bishop f3. After taking and rook e1, the pin prevents Black from recapturing on c4. We have rook e8, queen d2 connecting the rooks, and rook b8, defending the bishop and finally enabling the capture on c4. Alekhine starts the attack on the king with queen g5. The threat is knight e6, threatening checkmate on g7 and also taking Black's queen. Black would be forced to take and bishop takes f6 wins. Checkmate is threatened on g7. g6 does nothing because of queen h6. The only way to defend mate is with knight g6, but that loses the queen. Back to the game. Black played queen g6, blocking the queen's path to the g7 square. Knight f5 unleashes White's dark squared bishop. Black starts trading pieces with rook takes e1, then d takes c4, exchanging the light squared bishops. Now, Alekhine concluded the game with a little combination. Do you see it? The move is bishop takes f6. If the queen takes, there follows rook e8 check, knight f8, king h6 check, queen takes, and checkmate with rook takes f8 and queen d8 checkmate. In the game, Black took with the pawn. Queen h6 threatens mate on g7. Queen f8 is the only way to defend, but the nice rook e8 forced immediate resignation. Queen g7 checkmate is unavoidable due to the pin. The second game also features the Sorensen Defense. What makes Alekhine's performance in this one even more impressive is that the game was played blindfold. In this standard opening position, instead of bishop check followed by kingside development, Black castled queenside. After White broke the pin with castles, Black didn't repeat the mistake of taking on c3 we saw in the previous game, but moved his queen to h5. After h3, bishop takes and bishop takes, Black's queen went on g6. Queen a4 is a nice move, threatening to take the c6 knight, and next capturing the undefended b4 bishop. The knight is supported by his colleague on e7. Alekhine takes on c6 and chases the other knight with d5. To avoid losing the bishop, Black has to take on c3. White takes the knight, and the bishop is put into safety on d4, also defending the a7 pawn. Alekhine takes on b7 with check, and targets the c7 pawn with bishop f4. Black attacks the bishop and develops his rook. White once again takes aim at the c7 pawn with his rook. The bishop moved back to b6, apparently defending everything, but Alekhine ended the game in a spectacular fashion, even though it might not be the best continuation objectively. He sacrificed everything on c7 and took the a7 pawn, threatening to promote a new queen with double check. Black has to block the pawn with rook b8, and after rook c1 check and rook d1 check, Black resigned. This looked a bit premature, but Black didn't like the look of his king completely in the open.